Pediatric Gastroenterology, Stanford, the adult side, too, and Takeda. You guys have all been just amazing supporters of our IBD community, and we cannot thank you enough. All right, so good morning, everybody. We're going to be walking soon. Let's try that again. Good morning. Love it. Welcome to 2023 Take Steps here in beautiful Walnut Creek in the East Bay. From diagnosis to treatment to remission, living with IBD is a journey. Not only for the millions of people living with Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis, but for their caregivers, their supporters, healthcare professionals. No matter what twists and turns the journey take, know that the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation is here with you to provide resources, support, and to get to cures. Today, we're taking steps as an entire community to connect and inspire one another to move us closer to a world without IBD. I'm especially proud to be here today. I joined the foundation just about exactly a year ago as the executive director, and I had two reasons that I was joining the foundation. Both of them were my aunts, one with Crohn's and one with ulcerative colitis. And I have to say, right now, I have probably 100 or more reasons to be here today, and that is all of you, all of our patients, and all of the people who are here working for a world free of IBD. We're all here today because every step that we take and every dollar that we raise gets us closer to that world free of IBD. You guys are fundraising. That's minimizing the challenge and uncertainty that comes with the diagnosis by enabling the foundation to offer trustworthy guidance through programs like My IBD Learning and the IBD Help Center. You're combating isolation by creating a safe space for pediatric patients at Camp Oasis, where kids with IBD can have an invaluable camp experience without their illness holding them back. You guys are fueling the research that changes people's lives, including your own. So far, the foundation has invested $500 million in research and has either funded or supported almost every major development in IBD treatment in history. That's $500 million. That is amazing, and that's how we are getting closer and closer every day to cures. So let's hear it one more time for our national sponsors here. We have AbbVie, Bristol Myers Squibb, Takeda, and Drip Drop. And here in Walnut Creek, we have the Star One Credit Union, Stanford Medicine Children's Health Pediatric Gastroenterology, Stanford Medicine, Cityside Journalism, Dome Construction, John Muir Health, and American River Infusion Services. And they are really, putting their dollars behind making a world free of IBD. So let's also want to thank our incredible Take Steps volunteers, some of whom showed up as early as 7:30 this morning, some of whom have been working with us almost all year on the committee, some of whom have been taking photographs for years and years and years for us. So big, huge shout out to all of our volunteers here. And we are honored to have people today with us who are living with IBD. They've confronted the fear that comes with the diagnosis and face each day with incredible strength. Just by being here today, you bring hope to those who may feel the isolation of this disease. It is my honor and privilege to introduce one of the patients from our community to share our journey. Please welcome this year's East Bay Take Steps honored hero, Carmelita Botello. Thank you, Morgan.
So the sun looks like it's coming out. We have to shed this off. So my name is Carmelita Botello. I live in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I am honored and humbled to be named and speak today. I'm excited to walk with all of you in unity in building awareness and finding a cure for IBD. I was diagnosed in my 30s, not realizing I had stomach issues my whole life. No idea. I was very young and always just couldn't understand why after I ate, I was in pain and aching, and didn't realize that that was not normal. It wasn't until I had severe symptoms and heavy bleeding that I started to go into the doctors and doing years and years and years of testing, and I see a lot of green shirts out here, so you know what I'm talking about. It's a Russian roulette guessing game, a lot of pills, a lot of therapies, nothing seemed to work. And then one day, the doctor told me I had ulcerative colitis and told me that it was an incurable disease. Kind of hits you rock hard, and saying that I would have to be careful what I ate, we'll try a bunch of different medications, and have to limit my activities. And I've got a big group of people out here, love you very much. They know I cannot sit still. So didn't really tell anybody, didn't tell my family, didn't tell friends. I quietly, kept it to myself. But I was pretty devastated and really frustrated. Got pretty sad. And then one day, my doctor had said, "Hey, have you heard about the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation? You should check them out. You're not alone. There's other people that have this, condition. Taking medication, you can maintain it." But I was embarrassed and I was ashamed. It's not like you want to tell people that you have this. But I braved up one day and went to a Team Challenge information event. Team Challenge is, as you know, some of you, it's the half marathon. And I'm like, in my mind, I can still run a half marathon. I can do all these things. I'm just in denial. But after repeated flare-ups and things of that nature, when I went to this meeting, I found just a really great diversity of people, ages, different types of conditions, and just such an overwhelming sense of welcoming and support and love, not just from other patients, but from family members of patients and as well as practitioners. I found so much support. And then what I found is when I started sharing my story, I was actually encouraging other people to also share their story. I was sadly amazed that there's a lot of people that have IBD at different levels. And one time my really good friend called and said, "Hey, what's that thing you have with your stomach?" And I said, "Oh, ulcerative colitis." He's like, "I think my nephew has it." So I think it was in 2016. We actually came to take steps in Justin Herman Plaza, and it was a great experience for him as well. He couldn't be here today, but his family's here, so I appreciate them coming and supporting me. I highly recommend continuing to share your story, whether you have the disease or you are caring for somebody that has a disease or you know of somebody that's having some issues. Crohn's and Colitis Foundation is a fantastic opportunity to get people connected and really understand that there are various different medications and it's not a one-size-fits-all. For you patients out there, as you know, what works for me may not work for you, but still sharing what you have tried is really important. And then also being aware and giving awareness and being an advocate for yourself. Nobody's going to take care of you as well as you are. So today, again, I continue to share my story. I have a really strong support system. There's my PETAs out there. You guys can figure out the acronym a little bit later. They're my PETAs for UC. And I lean on my belief in God and faith that in this disease, I have a purpose. And I continue to stay active. I do some crazy stuff. I had to convince all of them this wasn't a real race. Because they're like, "We're not doing any of your crazy races, Carmelita. We're not doing that." What I just want to let you all know is I have colitis, but it does not have me, right? Thank you. And you are not alone. There is strength and comfort in sharing your story and knowing what other people are going through. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be ashamed. So we're all here to create awareness and fundraise. You heard Morgan earlier, the amount of money that goes to research that I personally benefit from. I think I literally have tried every medication known to man, and the fact that you're trying medication that's for arthritis it boggles my mind. But you're not alone. You have all the support here today. So let's get out there and walk and have a good time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carmelita. All right, you guys all have a ribbon. Get your ribbon out. It's time for the ribbon. And if you don't have a ribbon, run over there real quick and get your ribbon. The ribbon that you're holding represents your unique reason for being here today as a patient, a caregiver, or a supporter. On it, you've written who you take steps for, you've written why you take steps, you've written your hopes for the future. IBD patients, like Carmelita, you're here because you're making your way through your own personal journey all day, every day. IBD patients, raise your green ribbons up high so we can see you and honor you. Thank you. You can lower your ribbons. And our patients are championed by countless caregivers and supporters. I'm going to introduce two of them now from right here in the East Bay. So like you, Elizabeth and Kian each have their own connection, and like you, they're here for the same reason. When Elizabeth's youngest daughter, Eva, was only 10 years old, she was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. She was emaciated and weak. It took years and many different treatments. But Eva's now going into her senior year of high school. She's excited about college, and she's no longer emaciated and weak. She's on the rowing team. And in these past 7 years, Elizabeth's oldest child and mother both got diagnosed with IBD too. Elizabeth dove into whatever she could do, treatment, support, advocacy. She joined the local chapter board, and her family team is our top fundraiser this year. So caregivers, you guys are here today because, like Elizabeth, someone you love is living with IBD, and you're walking by their side every step of the way. So caregivers, will you raise your white ribbon high, please? And thank you. You can lower your ribbons. Now, Dr. Kian Kiashian has been practicing gastroenterology with a focus on inflammatory bowel disease for more than 10 years, and he is currently the clinical director of IBD at Stanford Medicine in Emeryville and Redwood City. Some of you have no doubt benefited from his kind and thoughtful approach to the management of IBD. Dr. Kiashian believes in knowing the whole patient, which is why he comes out every year to support his patients and the whole community as we take steps. Dr. Kiashian represents the rest of our community. Whether you're a healthcare professional and you've dedicated your life to fighting IBD, or you believe in bringing support to patients and families, everyone holding a blue ribbon, raise it now and show the IBD community that you're here. Thank you. Our supporters understand that any journey is easier when you're not alone. Now, this is the exciting part. Down on the ground, there are some lengths of rope. We need everybody to be holding onto a piece of rope. So you're gonna have to get up, you're gonna have to move, you're gonna